to get started. I'm going to put on show my screen. We've got a few little surprises for everybody today to get the ball rolling here. Okay, that's our website. Most of you are aware of this, but just to point things out, this is where new people join our email list. When you get a new member, either send them to becomingapremier.com, or you can actually go in there yourself and put people into our email loop right in here, and so that they get updates on all of these webinars, links to the webinars, conference calls, updated emails. There's a small percentage of people actually in our loop compared to how many people are on our team. So let's get people in there. Also, these webinars are recorded by Sam White, and you can look at them in the back office by registering here, logging into the back office. It brings up a members area. We have past conference call recordings in there. Past webinar recordings is a great resource, a great tool, but you've got to log in order to be able to access that back office area. Hey, a lot of you guys saw this picture of me from a couple of weeks ago, and I was actually talking to Rod Culp at the time. This is how I usually look like when I'm doing my business. You see my slippers down there. I'm sitting down in our Japanese garden that we built on the one side of our decks, and I thought you might have some fun by looking at the other side. That is the other side. There's one of the decks over here. And actually, Terry's also on the line. She's got a few comments to make about what is going on here at this part of the slide presentation. We had a gathering here. Are you there, Terry?
Yes, I am, Art. It was such a wonderful weekend last weekend. We had a friend stay with us for 10 days, and she used to live here 5 years ago. And we gathered all of her friends together for an open house. And so that is me with a bunch of her friends down there looking at where the fish are in the bottom pool. And it was just such a wonderful day and a wonderful gift to give this friend because she had been gone for 5 years. And this is what residual income can do for you. It is a lifestyle, life-changing style. I mean, if somebody had given me a crystal ball and said, you know, when you join Zango, this will be your new life with your Japanese garden and your waterfall, I mean, that is truly a gift come true for us. And so we invited all her friends. We had about 18 people here, and we just had a wonderful time. And she felt so blessed to be able to feel the peace that she does feel from our backyard there. So this is what Zango has given us.
Yeah, it's a great spot here, and I often sit out on this deck. A lot of times you're talking to me, and I'm sitting right over here in one of these chairs, and talking on the phone. I love to get outside when I'm on the phone. We've got like 5 decks here. So that's the life of a home business person. People wondering, what do you do? We walk around in slippers. We talk on the phone. We go to our computer. And, yes, then we build to events. Gosh, big news. Hold on a second here. The big news this week is, I'm going to show you something here in a second here. There we go. Zango opens Malaysia. You know, we are an international company, and I'm telling you, you've got to start thinking internationally. Who do you know in some of these other countries? You know, there's such a built-in excitement about a new country opening, and I'm going to give you a glimpse of that. I think a lot of you probably have not seen this, and so I'm going to show you a little glimpse from what's going on in Malaysia. This is from the Zango podcast, and we're going to play it here. It had a little excitement before we bring on our guests. So hold on a second here.
Zango Malaysia, a huge opening here in Malaysia. Very exciting, a big market for us. We are very excited, lots of energy. We're very proud. This is a homecoming of sorts for Zango. This is where Joe Morton first made a sense of discovery in tasting the mangosteen.
Hello, here we are at Zango's office in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It's an exciting time for me. I used to live right across the road from this office when I was here originally. So it's a bit like a homecoming.
Mangosteen, a very coveted, revered fruit here throughout Southeast Asia. And now Zango, our international growth, brings us around the world back to the land of our roots as a company. Our brand really reflects the Malaysian history and tradition of the mangosteen. And it begins because we put the whole mangosteen fruit in Zango juice, giving you the benefit of the entire mangosteen, the pulp and the rind. And here in Malaysia, that's a big story. They can walk down the street and they can buy the mangosteen right down the street here. Everybody knows the mangosteen fruit and can get it, but they still are looking forward to Zango juice to get the benefits of that rind. And it's very exciting. Everybody's very excited to be here. Lots of energy. It's been a huge opening for Zango here, and we're looking to make Malaysia one of our top markets in the world.
All right, is that hot or what? Okay, fantastic. Whoop, got pause there. So we've had several people come in. Hold on a second here. What's going on here? We've got to just make a couple of adjustments. There we go, finally. We were paused. We've had like several new members come in to Malaysia yesterday. I don't know who just sponsored somebody to Malaysia. We had 3 or 4 new members in there. So it's a question of who do you know in these countries, or who do you know that has contacts in these countries? This is a worldwide business. You know, one of the things that's unique about Zango is you can sign up somebody anywhere in the world seamlessly. Most of it can be done through your My Mangosteen website. People can get their own websites. You can sign them up from other parts of the world. So think internationally. I know some other lines have got some strong leaders happening over in Malaysia, and it's going to be a big country for us. Singapore over there as well. So think globally as you're moving forward with your business. Okay, so this is where we're going right now. I've got a new guest that I'm bringing on the line here. We had a great chat this week. He's from West Virginia over here, and his name is Dave Mitchin. Are you there, Dave?
I'm here, Art.
Hey, Dave, great to have you on the call. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Well, Dave, just for the folks that haven't heard of you before, maybe you could give us a little idea of what your background is and what's got you excited about Zango and so on.
Well, I started out in network marketing back in 1988. Actually started with the Amway company, was with them for about 10 years, and then I moved from there to a couple other companies, and this is actually my second time in Zango, truthfully. I got involved with this company back in 2004. We did quite well for about 90 days, ran into some challenges, ended up having to leave the business, and ever since then I'd always wanted to come back. And this past May, my wife and I was having dinner, and I said, you know, every company we've tried, every product we've used, I haven't been satisfied. She said, yeah, I know. She said, the only product that you've ever brought in the house that I really love is Zango. So I want you to get back involved today, and I want the product here tomorrow.
Wow, yeah. Isn't that fantastic, you know? And so, you know, you tried other things, I guess. It didn't work out, right?
Yeah, we tried several different things. And my wife had such great results the first time with this product that, you know, she was missing it, and we were missing it too because,
yeah,
you get, you know, people get sick and you get colds and things that happen, and you realize, well, you know, we could have been on Zango.
Right. So you got involved and you started to get to work. Do you mind if I interject one of your quotes from the chat? I think it's so powerful. And we had a chat this week, and this is what you had to say. I don't know if you knew that I was recording that, Dave. But check this out. I mean, here's the kind of guy we got on the phone here. You wonder what it takes to get to 5K in 74 days. This is what he says. What got me to 1K is the same thing that got me to 5K that will get me to 20K. Belief, dogged determination, decision to make it happen. Not to wait till 3 people decide to go 1K, but to get in the dirt and come up fighting. That is what got me to 5K. Well, that's pretty strong words.
Well, you know, we have quite a strong business here. I was listening to Bob Schmidt yesterday, and he was comparing our business to other businesses, and he was explaining why and how to, you know, when people contact you about other businesses, you need to ask them 4 questions. You need to ask them what their volume was last month, what the retention rate was. You need to ask them questions about, their product.
Right.
And, when you ask people questions and you let them come to their own conclusion, well, it's their mind being made up for them.
Right. So, Dave, I mean, you just obviously have a lot of passion, for this. Like you have kind of a blind business or something, right?
Yes, we've been working a blind business. We've owned it since 1994. We're the only manufacturers in this area of vertical blind. So we do quite a bit of work. It's very physical, hard labor. Like yesterday, we were gone from 7:30 in the morning till almost 12 o'clock at night doing estimates and hanging blinds. And so, your time's limited, but what you've got to focus in on is the little bit of time that you do have, you've got to really, contact people and really go through the numbers. You don't have time to mess around with people who are just looking or kicking the tires. Yeah,
I'd like to talk about some of our things, what Robert Kiyosaki talks about in the cash flow quadrant, whereas the employee, has limited income opportunities, but the self-employed person, which you are, tends to work way harder than anybody would in the job because you don't have any leverage in that. It's just you and you hate to hire employees. That's a whole other problem. So, I mean, you just don't have any leverage. So it's harder. You can work hard and make money, but you don't have any time, right?
That's right. We did hire a couple employees. Those experiences were pretty doggone negative. I found that I had to go back and reinstall couple of jobs completely because the guy I had sent the guys out to do the installation and he hadn't done it correctly, so I had to go back and redo it, and that was a waste of time and a waste of money.
Yeah, well, what was one of your passions, I know, is this whole idea that that there is no freedom in working for other people, that you want to empower people to do their own thing, to take back their own power, make their own choices. Isn't that right, Dave?
Yes, absolutely. I believe that, the reason that we're in business ourselves personally is so that I don't have those limitations of a boss telling me when I can work, when I can't work, how much money I can make, what kind of vehicles I can drive. And so understanding that freedom, I just sincerely believe that our country would be a much better country if we had 65 to 95% of the population working for themselves.
Yes. Like they used to do, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
At the turn of the century, the wealthiest class in this country was actually the farmers.
Wow, that's hard to believe things have changed that much. So what is your secret to success to get you to where you are right now, do you think, Dave?
Oh, wow. Now, that's a big question. I've spent 3 days trying to answer that question for you. I finally answered last night at 12:30, so I got the answer for you.
Okay.
I'll go back to one of our great presidents. This president, he was weak in the eyes, weak in the body, and he got very sick and tired of everybody telling him that he would never amount to anything. So this president went west and applied himself to cattle drives, to a very rigorous lifestyle, and developed a self-discipline. Came back east and became president. This president was the one who built the Panama Canal. And the one thing that made the difference in his life, and if you'll see this golden string throughout all successful people's lives, the one thing is willpower. And don't take that lightly, because willpower is extremely, extremely incredible. That is the one thing that brings up determination, is the willpower. You decide, you make it happen, you take no excuses, and you just roll on.
Well, I've got a topic at the end of the call that is along that line, and I might as well throw it in right now. I was doing this training, Dave, for one of our local groups here, and when I get going on some of my live presentations, by the way, we're going to be in Vancouver, Canada here on Thursday night for one of our live presentations. We've also just scheduled one in Portland for September the 13th. And, sometimes I get carried away at those, Dave. And what I was saying to people is I'm just going to interject this into your talk, is that, there isn't a lack of how to do this business. There's lots of different ways to do this business. There's not one way to do this. And when we went to Thailand and we met all those different premiers, everybody was doing the business differently. Nobody was doing it the same. So there's not one way. We can't put everybody into a mold and say, okay, do this day and that day, and the next day do this and do that. No, this is not the kind of business we have. So there's not a lack of how to, but what there is lack is a will to do what it takes. That's what there's a lack of. Somebody that has enough passion. And what I saw in your chat is a lot of passion. I mean, where did that come from? And how can we give it to other people?
Well, that's a good question, Art. Let me say this. There's a lot of people that's on the call right now. They have a sincere desire. They have a burn. They have a want to build this business, but they've never buckled down and developed their willpower. It's little things like, forcing yourself to lose weight, forcing yourself not to eat those extra calories, making the decision, forcing yourself to maybe do some exercises every day, forcing yourself to do something different every day than what you've done before. Because what happens is we get into a rut. We go to work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We get up, we take a shower, we go to work, we drive to work, we go through the same stop sign, same stoplight. We get to work, we don't even realize how we got there. We drive back home, we do the same thing. We sit on the couch, we watch soaps, we go to bed. We do that, 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week. You got to change your lifestyle. You got to change habits. You got to change things. You got to have the will, the fortitude down deep inside. You got to pull that thing up and make it manifest. You got to force yourself to do the things that you're uncomfortable, unwilling to do. Like getting on a conference call this afternoon. I was a little bit nervous about getting on here. But I forced myself because I know that through that self-discipline of will, my success will manifest itself. So you have to be willing to change. That's the most important thing. You have to be willing to move forward. I'll give you an example. When I was in the military, this is towards the end of our 6 weeks basic training, and I got elected to be the squad leader because way back when I joined the unit, I trained myself to be the squad leader when I got to basic training. Well, within 24 hours of getting there, they appointed me as the squad leader for that particular squad. And I maintained that position throughout the whole 6 to 8 weeks. I saw other guys come in, take the position, and lose it, but I maintained mine because I had willed myself 6 months before to do so. Well, at the end of this training, we had a 21-mile forced road march. And there was a reward for the squad leader who could bring his team, his squad, through the whole 21 miles and not lose anyone.
Wow.
Well,
that's a teamwork thing.
Yeah. We got down to the last, I think it was on the 20-mile mark. We only had 1 mile left to go. And I felt that some of my team members weren't going to make it. They were beginning to drag. Their feet are hurting. They're sore. They've been up since 11 o'clock the night before, just constantly marching, taking a break here and there. And so what I did was I hollered back to the guys at the back, and I said, listen, if we're going to make the next mile, you've got to grab the load-bearing equipment web of the guy in front of you, hold on, and I'll drag you the next mile. And that's how we made it.
Well, you're like a bull, I think. That's the picture I got.
Yeah, you got to. There's obstacles. There's things in life. There are forces out there that do not want you to become successful.
Yeah.
Because when you become successful, your whole world changes. The people around you change. Contacting becomes easier. Prospecting becomes easier. If you knew for sure that becoming a 1K in the next 24 to 48 hours was going to, and your life depended upon it, you would get the job done. You've got to have that kind of an attitude. It's like me going 20K this month. That's my everything that I am depends upon me going 20K this month. So every focus that I have, every spare moment that I'm from a prospect, I'm talking to them about Xango. I'm bringing the prospect up, and I'm giving them the opportunity to join our business.
Yeah, I think, Dave, you've hit the nail on the head here, and it's my view. For most of you listening on the call here, I'm not picking anybody out as an individual, but you have a lot of lofty dreams and you have a lot of big goals, but you simply are not doing enough. I don't know how else to say that. you're just not doing enough. The daily actions are not there, you know. And like I said, from this book I'm going to be quoting a little later, Becoming a Category of One, that dreams without execution are like hallucinations. And there's a lot of people in our groups and in our team that want to be successful, but they just don't do enough on a daily basis to make it happen. You've got to increase your daily activities, double your daily activities. I had somebody I met with this week and said, you know, I'm going to go on a 30-day blitz, you know, to get my business going. And I thought, well, that's great. Let's get started on the 30-day blitz. But what it's going to take is about a 12-month blitz, not 30 days. But, you know, you can only ask people for what they're willing to give. Dave, let me go on to some of the rest of your quotes here, and then we'll finish up and get on to the next guest here. I like this one, too. Do you want to read this?
Okay. Not listening to folks grumble and complain. They say, I can't find anyone, no one has the money, nobody wants to get better. Those are just excuses. I mean, excuses are...
Bull! You said bull!
Yeah. That's what... You got to have that kind of attitude. You can't... It's hard to tell somebody that that's a bull excuse unless you have a good relationship with them. And I have some folks that are giving me those excuses I do have a close relationship with, and as my business continues to become more successful, that bull gets a lot bigger and a lot stronger for them.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what got you to where you are, and you've got some really big goals. I mean, you're talking $20K this month in August?
Yeah.
Wow. And Premier by convention. I know that's your goal. So those are big goals. And if you want to hit those kind of goals, and I'm giving this advice to David, to everyone else in here, you've got to bring in a lot of people. You know, that is still the secret to this business, sponsoring and talking, which means you've got to talk to a lot of people on a daily basis. You've got to have a lot of people in your pipeline. You've got to bring them through the system. You've got to be in a massive action phase, and a lot of it in the beginning has to be based on new people. You know, so if you're wondering what your business is really, really doing, you know, if you want to do that sort of reality check, just go into the production report, bring up your last month's production report, and look at the number of people that you've sponsored. Or go into your check register and check out your power bonuses. What are your power bonuses doing? Your power bonuses indicate, without any bull, exactly what is happening in your business. You're going to earn power bonuses from all the people that you have sponsored, and if you're smart enough to be on a 2Case auto ship, you're also going to earn power bonuses from the people that you have sponsored. So that really indicates new member activity on the first level of your, or it doesn't have to be your first level, but of your personally sponsored people and their personally sponsored people. And if you get your power bonuses up, you know your business is going to start growing. So anything else you want to add before we jump on to the next guest, Dave?
Yes, I want to add this real quick. The focus of developing your willpower is going to take self-discipline. But here's what comes from focusing on your willpower and developing that skill and developing that drive on the inside. All manner of providence will come in to your aid. You know, when your upline sees that you're moving on, that you're doing, that you're in motion, that you're constantly in motion, your upline will help you. I cannot stand here and tell you that I did this on my own, because I didn't. I have two upline leaders who are just, you know, fantastic guys. They know what they're doing. They have this whole business down to a master art. And they're not going to help someone who won't help themselves. They're not going to help someone who doesn't move forward. You've got to be willing to move forward. It's like I always heard, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So if your wheel is squeaking the loudest, you're going to get the most grease.
Exactly. Yeah, you get the attention. You know, you don't have to wonder who the leaders are. The leaders are the ones that are calling you. The leaders are the ones that are getting you on the phone with three-way calls. That's how you became a leader and got the extra support. We've got a picture here of Mike Erskine, 200K Premier from Rancho Cucamonga on the left, and that's Aaron McCon Premier up here from Bellevue, Washington. And you showed them that you really wanted to work, and I know they've gone the extra mile to help you, and you've got a great teamwork working there, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's no amount of evocation that I could put on the phone that would justify their relationship and our friendship.
Fantastic. Well, great to have you on, Dave. Great to have some fantastic new leaders, and you've got some great. You got a lot to give to the team. You know a lot. You can take your willpower and inspire others to emulate you.
Thank you, Art.
Thanks a lot, Dave. And so we're going to move over to the other side of the country now. Many of you saw the convention email that I sent out on Monday talking about convention. I forwarded an email that I had got from one of our leaders, Scott Crossman, and that was such a great email, so well done. You know, I mean, here he is, a 5K, and wanting to rally his troops to get them back out to convention. I'm telling you what, Scott Crossman is one of the best persons in our entire team at getting people out to events. And so we're going to move over to the other side of the country here to Portland, Oregon. We've gone from West Virginia over to Oregon. Terry and I are just up in here, by the way, and we're going to bring on Scott Crossman. Are you there, Scott?
Yes, Art. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, Scott. Great to have you on the call. One of our favorite leaders. Did you know that?
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you.
Well, Scott, why don't you just fill people a little bit on your background and why you're excited about Xango? What's got you motivated to do something like this? And then we're going to talk about how do you get all these people out to events?
Okay, well, believe it or not, in the picture there you see, I'm actually a carpenter by trade, a union carpenter out here in Portland, Oregon. I work out at Intel, and I build clean rooms. And somebody approached me a while ago and introduced me to Xango, and it's just been a fun ride ever since. I tell all my people I haven't had a bad time working Xango yet. It's fun. I mean, if you want a second job, if you want something else to do, nobody likes going to work at Taco Bell or Home Depot. I mean, you want something that's fun and enjoyable, and I love people. I love being around them and just being a part of groups and especially going places and doing things together as a team. It's almost like my Xango family, so I thoroughly enjoy it.
Scott, this is Terry, and, you know, we've watched you from the very beginning, and every meeting that we were at in Portland, or if you came down to Seattle, and we watched your group grow, it was amazing. I mean, Scott takes his group, and he's there early. He's a true leader, and he comes early. He has all his business cards on the first row. He wants his people to make sure they're taking notes, and they're going to be right front up and close and center. Even at convention, at Las Vegas, any of the meetings, I know, Scott, you're just so good at getting your people out, but you rally around your team. I've watched you, and you really stand up as quite a leader, and I've watched your group leaders merge as well. And so it's been really exciting to watch you grow and to watch you take your group along this path. And boy, I see great things from you. I really do, and your group, because I know you're having meetings every week now, right?
Yes, I am. We call it the Boiler Room. I don't know if anybody's ever seen the movie Boiler Room, but it's a very inspiring movie, and we just created a situation for people to get together here locally and find out how we work the business daily, and bring in new people. We do presentations right there on the fly. If somebody brings in a new guest, boom, we'll pull out a presentation, run them through it. If you want to do a three-way, whatever it is, we just try to be there for our team and help out wherever we can. So we're giving them a boiler room to work the Xango business weekly.
Yeah, so it's a weekly place where people can bring people or come and listen to you make calls or make three-way calls or stuff like that. Well, here's some pictures of you and some of your team at events. We got some pictures. This is a typical Scott Crossman group here, all lined up. He's got the seats saved, That's your upline, Clay and Edith at the end there, I think, right?
Yes, it is.
You're in there early. You're getting the seats all saved. I mean, I'll tell you, we hadn't spoken to you for a while, but here we were in Las Vegas in May, and there you had, how many people did you get? Now, you're a 5K from Portland, Oregon, and you had how many people come with you to Las Vegas?
I believe I had 10 people besides myself in Vegas.
Yeah, 10 team leaders. I mean, I have 20 Ks from Washington that didn't have nearly that many people. I had premieres from the West Coast that didn't have nearly that many people come there. So you're doing something, Scott. How do you, for the folks that are listening here, conventions coming up, I mean, how do you get people out to these events? What is it that, you've always been good at it? What's the secret?
Wow, I'll definitely have to say passion. You gotta be passionate about the events and explain them to people. But I get my passion from people who've been there and done that. And Jim Rohn, his CD, Building Your Network Marketing Business. Every new person in my groups got to listen to that CD every day for the first 2 weeks in the business. It's got so much knowledge on there, and the philosophies are just absolutely great. He talks about the different steps of your business, and if you're looking at this to, replace your income, and if you're looking at it to supplement whatever you're looking for, there's different steps. And he says, number one, to increase your income, you can get a customer, make a sale, or just share your experience and share your testimony with others. And he goes, that'll increase your income. He goes, you want to step it up another notch, you jump into recruiting. Get yourself a good invitation, have a formal one and an informal one, and then you got to follow up the fortunes in the follow-up. And he says, a great quote, he says, find a way to serve the many. Service to many leads to greatness. He says it pays big money. So if the big Zig Ziglar phrase, I know everybody's probably heard it, help enough other people get what they want, and you can have everything you want. And it is so true. If you just stop worrying about your problems and you help other people solve their problems, it totally helps you out. And he says if you want to directly affect 1,000 people, you can, because that's, the service to many leads to greatness. He says if you just want to help a few, if you say I don't have a lot of time, then you equal that pay. If you say, well, I'm going to work even harder and I'm going to dig deep and I'm going to service to many, you get that pay. If you want to serve 1,000 people, then you get that pay. That's why they always say servant leadership. And I mean, Art and Terry, you guys are one of the greatest uplines ever. I mean, just absolutely there anytime I need you, anytime I need some help. You guys are always encouraging. I was thinking about the other day, Art and Terry, Rod and Shannon, Clay and Edith, nobody's ever called and screamed at me for not working my business. Nobody's ever called and said, what's going on, Scott? Nobody's ever said that to me. If anything, it's you guys are doing awesome. Keep going, doing what you're doing. Whatever you need, we're here for you. And I thought you guys are awesome uplines. He then says, moves on, once you learn to organize, getting people to work together, that pays great money. He says, nice little quote, I always get a chuckle every time I listen to it. He said, getting people to work together, it's difficult. It's kind of like herding cats.
Yeah.
If you can do it, it's magical. And so that's where he leads to the last one here, and this is, I think, what my secret is to getting people to events. He said promotion. Once you learn promotion, it pays staggering money, and that means local meetings, regional meetings, conventions. I tell my people I can't explain convention to you. You have to go and experience it. I talk in word pictures, so my analogies come out, and I explain it as simple as I can with people. If you've seen the Grand Canyon on TV, if you've seen pictures of it in a magazine, if you've been to the Grand Canyon website, you go, wow, that's neat, that's cool. But until you stand on the edge of one of those cliffs and you look down into the Grand Canyon and you're there, there's no words to explain that feeling. And I've been there and I've experienced that. And the websites and the pictures, nothing compares to actually being there. So I explain that with passion to my people and say, you've got to get to regionals. You've got to get to the convention. Because if you're serious about this business, you've got to get there and experience what this company is all about. I mean, the founders come off the stage after the convention and talk to the crowd, hug them, shake their hands, thank them for being distributors. Nobody does that. I mean, MCI, the leaders don't even get out there. You got Apple, you got all these guys. You go backstage after the conventions. And just powerful, powerful stuff at convention. You've got to get there. You've got to experience it. And I tell my people, once you get to convention, you will get it. It will click with you, and it will instantaneously be a part of you. And I say, you're now in Zango, but go to convention and let Zango get into you.
Yeah, that's a great one, and that was in your email. And, of course, now what it is, if you've been to convention, the key thing then is taking new people with you, and if you feel as passionate about it as Scott, I'm telling you, new people will come.
Absolutely. That's my biggest key for all my leaders that came last year. I said, you guys, you're coming back to convention, but more importantly, since you've been there, you've experienced it, now it's for your people. And you can't expect your people to go if you're not going. You have to go, and then to explode your business, you've got to get other people out there to experience that dream, to get it. And once you bring your people, it's just a continuing effect. I know, Art, you said you brought so many people to the first convention.
Yeah, we brought 17. 17 to the first convention. Mm-hmm.
And then the second convention, it wasn't 18, was it?
No, it was. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, that's where it began.
Yeah.
125, I think, for the second one, 230 for the third one.
Yeah, it's magical. You get people to work together. You get them to see, you know, we work locally and we inspire our team and help them out. But there's something magical about big events, especially local meetings. It's like, I call them the battery rechargers. You know, you feel like you're working, doing everything you can, and then you go sit in a room with 500 other people that are cranking and working just like you, and you feel that electricity in the air, and you just get energized. Then you go to a regional, and now you see a couple thousand, 4,000 or 5,000 people there, and you're like, you got to be kidding me. You go to a convention, last year we had over 9,000 people there. Insane. It just blows me away. You get your people there, they will get it, and your business will grow. Yeah.
And we have a lot of fun there, don't we, Scott?
Oh, what a blast.
Where do you see this one, guys? If you know who, I mean, there's Scott. In case people don't know, I mean, Xango quite often has a dance night, you know, where people dress up. Who's that with you there, Scott?
Well, we got Superman here on the right. You've got Big Mark, one of my team leaders, back here in the back. And then, unbelievable, we've got Art and Terry right here, 500K, dressing up, being a part of the event. And it's just a blast. Xango throws the best parties I've ever been to in my life. And what's crazy is I had to actually make an agenda for my team just to keep us on track. We were going to your dinner. We had parties here. We had after events. It was insane. We were going nonstop, but it was all fun, just a blast. So.
Yeah, this is a good one here, Scott. This picture, this is Mark and what's her name?
Amy. Mark and Amy, yeah.
Mark and Amy, you know, this is your whole team there getting their picture taken. It's a great picture.
Oh, yeah. It's a blast. It's so fun. I mean, you get your people there. They'll click. They'll get it. What a fun time to be at convention.
Yeah. This is Mike Erskine as Data. I mean, he's dressed that twice. It's hard to beat Mike Erskine as Data. I mean, people look at him and they think the real guy is there. So we have a lot of fun, Scott. Really appreciate you coming on the call today and talking about convention. You're one of the best at getting people out to events, and we'll see you next month in Portland. We're coming down to help you out down there.
Oh, I appreciate everything you do for us. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Scott, for coming on. And there's the dates of convention, and that email that was sent out on Monday, if you scroll to the bottom, is the complete itinerary. You know, they have the Thursday night opening reception, the Friday all day is the presentations, the corporate presentations. Friday night is usually a dance party. Friday afternoon they usually have breakout sessions as well. Saturday morning and afternoon session. Saturday evening is free for people to get together with their teams, and we're encouraging all of our leaders to gather their groups together and bring them together on that Saturday night. It's kind of hard for us to have our own dinners there, so we're looking to get our team members involved in getting together and scheduling things. We're going to have a call on that coming up a little bit later to help you get organized for convention. We have a system, you know, on our team. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but we do have a system, and it's amazing to me. I have to tell you, I was at one of our meetings here, and this was absolutely shocking to me. You know, and I don't know where this comes from. You know, sometimes just things happen when I get get in front of people, and stuff comes out of my mouth that it surprises me. But I was in for a shock. I was doing a meeting for one of our good, strong teams. This is a strong team. We've done a lot of events for this group, and there was about 60 people in the room there. We were doing an overview training, kind of a mini version of what we're going to be doing here in Vancouver. And I was going through our system, you know, the website. You're getting, and how long have I been teaching this basic system of exposure to people? You know, 4 years. We've been basically talking. I mean, you know, well, it's probably almost 4 years. What basically happened, as a little small review here, is Terry saw Joe's story, right, and she wanted to join. And so naturally we thought everybody that went to the website would just want to join. You know, if it worked for us, it should work for everybody else. And we were bringing people, we were all excited bringing people to the website, and they were looking at it all, and then they just didn't sign up. And we didn't really realize why they didn't sign up. But I had been in business before, and I thought, you know, we got some great CDs. I'm going to start mailing out information packets to people that I've got that are interested. So I've sent them to the website, and I'm going to start mailing out information packets to these people, or you can hand out information packets. And so that was the classical 1-2 punch, you know, online to offline. You know, get people online and then send them an offline packet. And I've been teaching this, you know, I don't know how long, everything about this online. And here I am at this meeting, and just out of the spur of the moment, without even understanding why, I asked the people in the audience. I said, how many people here, when you we're looking at Zango, I can't even remember exactly how I worded it, but how many of you here got an information packet? I couldn't believe it. There was like only maybe a third of the people put up their hands. And this is one of our strong groups, and I thought, holy smokes, this is absolutely shocking to me that you guys didn't get some sort of an information packet, that at this level our system is not being duplicated, you know? I mean, it was shocking to me, you know? I thought I would have expected 80%, really. So that tells me that people still are not working the system. They're wondering why the business isn't growing fast enough. But they're not doing the things that we've been taught, you know? And it's amazing to me that here we are, you know, Terry and I basically have pulled ourselves off the mat here after being heavily in debt and created our fabulous wealth. And every Saturday we're teaching people what we know, and we're teaching them the system that got us to this place, and the simple basics of it aren't even being followed, you know? And so get your tools out there and get those tools out into people's hands. Get people on conference calls. Do three-way calls. I can tell you that we have a lack of compliance to the system going on here. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to do everything exactly how we do, but these are basic principles, online to offline. Getting an information packet into people's hands increases your duplication potential because it gives them something that tells the story that is beyond you, you see? It also gives them something that they can hand to the next person down the line, you know? So we have a system. Work the system, you know? You know what to do. And this is basically what I was talking about Dave Mitchum. I believe everybody on the call here knows what to do, and there's no lack of ways to do the business, you know? The question is, do you have the will to do what you know what to do? That's the key. And there's some of the tools, so I you know, no lack of ways to build this business. Now, let me get into another topic here. I've been talking a lot about this book I've been reading over the last few weeks. Actually, the founder sent it out to us around Christmas time, and I've read it on and off and on again. Becoming a Category of One. I wonder how many people on this call really take ownership over the idea that you actually have your own business, that this is your business that you're running here. You are the CEO, you're the marketing director, but this is a real business, you know? And how are you running your business? You know, how are you operating your business? And in Becoming the Category 1, they're talking about how do companies become extraordinary. So how do you, running your business, become extraordinary? How can you run an extraordinary business? And in this book, he's talking a lot about customer service and follow-up. Following up. Customer service is everything. You know, you're in competition. There's a lot of competition in the marketplace out there, isn't there? In every field of endeavor, there's a lot of competition. And I don't know if you've noticed it, but if you go into stores, retail stores these days, the service is up a notch. Everybody is trying to get the edge in this competitive world. And what is the edge? What is it that you can do better than your competitors can do? And what he's saying in this book is what you can do better than what your competitors by doing is better service, servicing your customers. And he uses this great example. I mean, he's a master of it. Joe Calloway is his name, and he's a master of it. And he says, you know, I like to buy pizzas. You know, I got this one pizza shop that I really like. And every couple of weeks I usually call in there, I get a pizza delivered, and I really like these guys. They're good service. You know, And anyway, this one time I was off doing a lot of traveling. It had been over a month since I had got one of these pizzas. And one day, I'm sitting at home, out of the blue, and guess who calls? Bob at the pizza shop. Hey, Joe, this is Bob at the pizza shop. Just wanted to check in with you. Was everything okay with that last pizza that you ordered? I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't a problem with it. No, it was fine. Well, you know, if there's ever any problem with any of our products, I want you to know that we'll make it right. And he says, no, it was okay. He says, well, you know, I just noticed that you haven't ordered in the last month or so, so I wanted to make sure that there wasn't a problem there because we really appreciate your business. Wow, now that is going the extra mile. How many people have had pizza store owners call them because they haven't been in, you see? And so then he says he talked to his bank the next day, and his banker, when he went in to see him, his banker said, well, how's things going, Joe? And Joe says, well, I just learned something the other day. He says, I learned that the pizza shop wants my business more than my bank does because his bank never calls him to see how he's doing. So how many of your customers are you following up on? You know, how many of your business builders are you contacting? You see, that you're in this is the service industry. It is not the sales industry. You know, the sales industry to me is something where you make a sale, the transaction's over, right? And then you go on down the line. You've made a sale, the transaction's over, you go look for another person, like selling a car or selling a house. This is the service industry. We sign people up, and then based on how well we work with those people and how well we service those people, helping them find their goals and dreams with the product and with the business, you know, and all of those kind of things is based on how much income we're going to generate from that activity. So I challenge you to step up your level of customer service. The fortune's in the follow-up, you know, keeping in touch with your leaders. And we're going to work harder here at doing that very thing. So I wanted to pass that on to you. Very powerful stuff about serving. Upcoming events. Yes, we've got quite a few upcoming events coming up. Always be looking in Zango.com. We've got Vancouver, Canada. We're coming in there on the 9th, on a Thursday night at the, I think it's called the Eagle Creek Golf Club. You've seen the email on it. If not, you know, if you haven't seen the presentation email on that, the flyer. Going to be building to a big event there. We got Portland we just booked for September 13th. Now, big news next Saturday, while we're in Canada, we've got Eric Welsh going to be doing the training next Saturday, and guess what? In July, the big news, Eric Welsh, who you heard on the webinar, just hit 200K Premier last month. He hit 200K. I'm so excited for him, and I've asked him to come on next Saturday and give you basically the keys to his success. How did he get to 200K Premier? He's going to be doing the training next Saturday. I'm not sure whether he's going to just do a conference call or a webinar. We'll be getting the email announcements out on that. Eric has also agreed to come back on a couple of times a month. We're just working out the schedule and doing his regular opportunity webinar on a regular basis so that you'll have something to bring people to a couple times per month there. And that's convention. Now, one other thing here. I think we've got a few minutes left here. What's our time like? Let me see here. I think we got a couple minutes left here. We just got some stuff that just came up from corporate. I wanted to just run you through it before we close out the call here. Okay. There's a new website. Many of you might have seen this called thewholefruit.com, okay? And, you know, we've been, and there's a great little website to send people on. They've got some of the research on here, got some great pictures. You can actually download pictures of the fruit. That one of the things, but what they've got here is structure, function, claim research that has just come out. And what they're pulling together here, you know, we talk a lot about the xanthones because that is what makes us unique, you know, but there's many other components within the mangosteen fruit that are very powerful nutraceuticals that a lot of these other fruits that you hear about, you know, if you hear about some of these other hot fruit drinks that are out there, they have some of the same components in them, some of these other nutraceuticals in them that also the mangosteen has. So here's some of the research that has come out on neutralizing free radicals. So we've got catechins in mangosteen, and this is some of the science that shows how catechins are known to neutralize free radicals. Proanthocyanidins also are antioxidants, and the xanthones are antioxidants. How about supporting a healthy cardiovascular system? These are all studies showing catechins, which is the component of green tea. Mangosteen has a very high level of catechins in it, and proanthocyanidins, all talking about supporting a healthy cardiovascular system. And many different studies here, and of course, xanthones. And then we've got cartilage and joint function. So this is a new little resource. If you want to send folks to it, this kind of indicates, all the different benefits. We've got also strengthening the immune system. And what we're doing is letting people know that there's more in the mangosteen than just the xanthones, and it's all the combination of everything working together that is producing these phenomenal benefits. That's why you can't just take one xanthone out in an extract and throw it into some kind of a drink mix and think that you're going to produce the same kind of results. What about all these other things that are all combined synergistically? That's how whole foods work. The system of extracting things is a drug mentality. That's thinking like a drug. Let's extract one component so that we can interact with one particular system in the body and stop the body from doing something. And by extracting it, we can put high dosages of one particular element into the body. But when you do that, you can tend to throw the body out of balance because the body will compensate when you aggressively attack it. That's what happens a lot of times with drug side effects. So it's a synergy of the whole fruit working together with all of these other elements that causes the kind of benefits that we're seeing in here that just can't be duplicated. So that's a good little website that I wanted you to see before we get off the line here. It's wholefruit.com. It's a good one to send out to people. And I think that's about it. I think I got one. Oh, no, that's it. Okay. So I'd like to thank you all for coming on the call today. Remember to sign up for the convention and get your people out. If you don't commit, they don't commit. It's a follow the leader kind of business. I'd like to thank Dave Mitchum for coming on the call today and sharing his willpower and some of his great quotes. Actually, I may put them in an email at some time in the future. So I want to thank you all for coming on the call today. Let's open up the lines. Also, Scott Crossman, great talk on getting out to convention and events. Look for events and build to events. So we're going to open up the line so that we can thank those individuals for sharing their heart and their stories with us today. And Terry, thank you. Anything you wanted to say before we wrap it up?
No, just looking forward to seeing you all at convention and all of your people because it'll be a great, great event. Thank you all.
Terry, thank you.
Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks for coming on the call.